Listen, guys, whatever you do in life, however you want to live life, the messages you want to send to yourself and to other people, the mottos that you live by, I've got one thing to say to you. Don't expect appreciation for what you do in life. You don't expect appreciation from other people because this is something that I'm just learning now. And it is hard to accept sometimes. And there's been a few things that have happened over the last maybe month and a half that makes me realize that find out what people find that are not find, but find out the things that people are appreciative of what you do. But if there's certain things that they're not appreciative, just don't do it. And it's kind of contrary to what humans should do for people, is that humans should always look to give back to others. Humans should always look to do good. But the reality is, and the reality is also always one of the harshest truths, is that the reality is that everyone's so stuck in their bubble. Everyone's got so many of their own issues that either A, they don't notice the things that you do to other people, they don't notice it and they don't appreciate, or two, they just don't care enough to appreciate. I mean, for me personally, I'm an empath, and I think it's really important to let people know how appreciative you are of things that they do, but I don't think everyone is like that. I think, unfortunately or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, I feel emotions quite deeply, and I know how people would feel if they were appreciated as often as possible, and I try to do that, but you got to realize that good energy does not come back to you at all times, which in some ways it's hard to accept because it's contrary to what I believe in terms of if you give good out into the universe, good will come back. But I'm telling you now, if it's to the wrong people, the good doesn't come back, guys. You'll often be disappointed. So just don't expect it, because it doesn't come all the time. And the worst thing that you can do is think that people are going to appreciate you at all times and the things that you try to do for them, because they're not going to, guys. And it's a very bleak thing to say, and some may perceive it as negative, but it is what it is. And I'm quite a realist, so sometimes I say things to people and people just perceive me as negative without actually really giving themselves an opportunity to listen to what I got to say. I'm not a negative person, but I'm just realistic. And yeah, it's just people just don't appreciate you at times. And if they don't, just stop doing those things, because you don't want to get disappointed. You could be putting that energy into building up your life and being the best possible version of yourself. But that is always going to be more powerful than putting out your energy to others and not getting that energy back. If you just put all that energy that you're trying to do good for people that maybe not appreciate you, if you put that all into yourself, imagine the life that you could build. And you know what? This is just me going off the top with this video, but there's just a lot of people that get let down in life, and I've been that person for a long time, where you think that by doing good for others, it will come back to you and you'll be able to establish, if you want to call it some sort of friendship, or if you want to call it, some sort of mutual respect towards each other. It doesn't happen like that. It can happen for some people, but at the end of the day, people are like this. They don't appreciate things until it's gone. And I've been like that as well. People in my life I should have appreciated more, and I just always thought they'd be there, but then they're not always going to be there. And it's a hard thing to learn. And if you're one of those people that are able to appreciate, I would consider you to be a fantastic person, and for you to be able to have that self-awareness to give to others to make them feel better. You're just not going to get it back from certain people. You're not going to get it back. And It's really hard to accept. I think that's why I made this video, is I know there's people out there like me that sometimes find these things a little bit challenging to accept. But the most important thing is, guys, is that, and it's something that I'm going through right now, is just don't let it get you down. Don't let it, you know, stuff up your vibe. Don't let it stuff up your energy, because you can really channel that energy into other things which will improve your life and will ultimately make you happier moving forward. I guess to give you a bit of a background in my perspective, I just find that, I'm not one of those people that go out there and say, look at what I'm doing, like look how good I am at this, look at the things I'm doing in that respect. I just keep quiet, because I don't want to be that person that, wants to get that validation from other people in terms of things that I do for people, or how I'm able to contribute to certain situations. And often, if you're that type of person, you don't get appreciated. And it's kind of contrary to what I'm saying, because in one side I'm saying that, I'm not that type of person that wants that sort of validation. But in reality, guys, human beings, of course, they want to feel loved. They want to feel like they're appreciated by other people. And it doesn't always work out like that, And as I said, it's a bitter pill to swallow. But it's kind of what happens in my respect, is that I don't talk about what I do. I don't say, oh, look what I'm doing. I don't look for it. I just I'm a bit of an introvert. I kind of keep quiet and I do my own thing. And it's up to other people wanting to appreciate it or not. But if it doesn't come, just don't worry about it and move on. If you're looking for that sort of appreciation, I guarantee if you're putting that right energy out to the right people, key word, to the right people, that love and appreciation and good energy will come back to you. But if it's the wrong person, it's not going to come back. It's not going to come back. And it's kind of funny how the world works, because in high school I was kind of not bullied, but not appreciated by certain people. And then high school finishes, and then everyone kind of goes off and does their own thing. And when I went off and did my own thing, I had people then reaching out to me, then wanting to catch up and hang out. And I'm like, well, mate, it's too late. Like, and then they take it personal that you don't want to see them. It's like, well, you should always be around people that appreciate you, not only when you go, you know what I mean? And I've been guilty of this as well, but that's something that I'm actively trying to change in my life. I want people that I care about around me to feel valued. I think it's really important to be able to establish relationships with people to make them feel valued. Because, not only is that person going to be happier, but because they're happier, your relationship with them is going to be better. So it actually lifts up everybody else. And apologies, because I am venting about this and I am kind of ranting, but I'm just sort of going off the dome and I'm just talking about anything that comes into my mind in that respect. But if you make people feel valued, you guys will have a better relationship, whoever that may be with. But just don't accept it. Don't expect it's going to come back, because it might not come back. And sometimes you need to just take that space from people. And I think if they value you then once you take that space, then I guess it's in your discretion whether you think that person, you can really add value to your life. Because you got to also be selfish, guys, because this world is not fair. This world is, in my opinion, not necessarily a kind world these days. And spreading kindness doesn't always get you what you want in terms of the energy that coming back. So you do have to be selfish. So if people appreciate you after you go, depends on the person, because you have to also understand that is human nature. People don't, there's so many things going on in people's life that they don't understand what someone can bring in terms of value until there's some separation between you where you're not necessarily hanging out or seeing each other or speaking as much. But then you also got to think to yourself, will it happen again? And it kind of leads me on to my next point, is to basically say this, that I think you are generally better off alone. I think it's something that I kind of battle with often in my head, because I do overthink things sometimes. Is that, you know, is it more important having friends, or is it more important being 100% comfortable in your own skin and being alone? And from my perspective, through my life experience, and look, I'm only 27, there's a lot of people that have much more life experience than me. But what I could say is that I think that if you have a positive relationship within yourself, you will be happier than having some friendships with other people. Some people may bring out the right energy in you, but a lot of people won't. And that's why I think it's more important to have a very positive relationship in yourself. All that energy that you've spent on other people that don't appreciate you, you can spend on yourself. And I'm telling you now, the last 2 years, and obviously because there's been some outside factors that have contributed to not seeing people as much, but I've made more growth in my life than I thought I ever would. I've got my mentality right. I used to overthink things, and I used to be very emotional about things. And look, I'm not perfect. I still get emotional about things that I shouldn't be emotional about. But am I able to control my emotions better? 100%. Am I more chilled out in scenarios? Definitely. And that's because I've put that energy into myself rather than into people that don't actually appreciate what you do. But on the other side of the coin, there may be people that truly care about you that also have struggles to actually express their emotions to other people. They have struggles to express their gratitude to you for being the person that you are. So it's hard, it is hard, because this stuff kind of gets me down. And I don't know if, I am pretty down right now, thinking about these sort of things, but you just got to get up and move on, don't you? You've just got to get up and accept that this is life, and accept that people aren't always going to appreciate the person that you are, and aren't always going to have the same level of maybe emotional intelligence as you do. If you have high empathy levels like myself, some people don't. And, having these sort of levels, it's a blessing and a curse. So, there's always positives and negatives to being whatever level of EI, emotional intelligence, that you have. So, don't think, I wish I was more in touch with my emotions, or don't think, I wish I was less in touch, because that's the person that you are, and you can't change that. And I've tried to change that kind of thing myself, and you can't change it. You're born like that. So it's just pretty much all I've got to say, guys, is that I can end this video on these couple of notes. Number one, don't expect appreciation to come back to you, even if you're appreciative of others in your inner circle. Don't expect it to come back, because you could very often than not be let down. Number two, find the people that do appreciate you and the person that you are, because if you do find people like that, watch both of you thrive, or not both of you, but just any amount of people. Watch all of you thrive as one, because you're all bouncing off in that same energy frequency of positivity and good energy. And then the last point that I can leave you with is that if you aren't getting that appreciation from other people in your inner circle, just put all that energy into yourself, because I'm telling you now, you can definitely turn your life around. And, I'm a good example of that. I'm not anywhere near where I want to be, but if you can compare where I was 3 to 4 years ago to now, at least I feel a lot more at peace within myself, and a lot more clear in where I want to be. And that's because I've cut certain energies out of my life, and I've put it into things that are actually going to improve me moving forward. So I really appreciate everyone that's coming into, listen to my video. Even if this only gets 4 or 5 views, at least that's 4 or 5 people that, feel like they're getting some sort of benefit from this. So thanks for watching my video, guys, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.